Hi, Ms. Walker. My name is Ms. Hester. I am your case manager and I am with the Department of Corrections. So, how are you doing today?
Hey, Miss Hester, I'm good. I'm here.
Yes, yes. Um, Now, it's my understanding that, of course, you've been mandated by the court to come and speak with me. Um, so, is there anything in particular that you wanted to maybe start talking about first, or any issues or concerns that you may be having?
That's a great question. Main concern is
Mm-hmm.
why are we even here? Why was I even mandated as far as these meetings? Like, I just feel like this is a complete waste of time. My time, your time, my children's time. This is ridiculous.
Yes, yes. Now, as I said it before, this is a part of your term and conditions. Like, you have to meet with me, you know, you know, as part of your pre-release program.
Right.
Now, I'm here for you, and I'm here for your children, and I can understand you as a parent. You know, you just want your children back, and I'm sorry that you feel that this is a waste of your time. But in an effort to allow these meetings to be useful, um, I thought that we could maybe start off by plan setting, maybe starting with some goals, just in terms of what has gotten you in this situation, and you know trying to reunite you with your children.
I mean, I guess I understand that. I guess. I mean, at the end of the day, as a mother, you try to provide the best way you know how. Okay, well, maybe my way of providing wasn't the best, but at the end of the day, look at the facts. My kids were taken care of. They had food.
Hmm.
They had a place to lay their head. They had clean clothes. Like, as a parent, what else more can you do?
All right.
My goals that I have for our meetings is to get back my kids. They are my primary concern. That's all that matters.
Hmm. Okay. Um. So you said that your children were taken care of. They had the things that they need, and everything. That's great. So let me ask you this: what were you doing in terms of providing for you and your children?
I mean, here we go with this question. How were you providing with your children? I feel like it's irrelevant how.
Hmm.
The fact of the matter is they were taken care of. And they were taken care of because I made it that way. So I had to steal a few credit cards, open a few accounts just to make it that way. End of the day, I had to worry about how food was gonna get on the table tomorrow. Everybody got something to say about how I do it. It doesn't matter. The
Right.
fact that is it's done.
Hmm. Okay. So let me just make sure that we're on the same page, and I gathered all the information correctly. So of course, you said that you were providing for your children, and you know, the way you were providing for them was because you were, engaging in illegal activity.
I
you know,
guess.
Now you mentioned something about people had concerns, and they had issues with this illegal activity that you were engaging in. Who are these people?
My sister, my mama, them worried.
Hmm.
Worried about what though? They so worried about me and my situation as far as how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna do that, but they're not worried enough to help me.
Hmm.
So, like I said, that's fine. Y'all ain't gotta help me. Me and my baby daddy Johnny can take care of this because he's the only one that been by my side the entire time, worrying about what's gonna happen the next day, struggling with me trying to figure out how we're gonna get food on the table. So meanwhile, they can worry, and I'm gonna act and do what needs to be done.
Okay. So, you know, Miss Walker, I can understand how your family, your loved ones, your friends, had some concernment about some of the things that you were doing, because you know your current situation. You're here. And not only that, your children are in the custody of defects because of some of the things that you were engaging in.
I mean, I guess you're right, but at the end of the day, it's like I had to do what I had to do. If you were so concerned about me and what I was doing in the well being of my kids, you should have helped. Point blank, period.
Hmm.
Don't freaking tell me, oh, there's a problem and there's no solution to it.
Right, right. I understand. And you also mentioned something about that Johnny was he was helping, and
Yeah,
things of that. So, what type of work is it that Johnny was doing?
Let me just make an understanding. I don't know what Johnny was doing. Quite frankly, Miss Hester, I don't care.
Mhm.
He provided and put food on the table the whatever way he did it by any means necessary. I never questioned that because the food was there.
Mhm.
Point blank. Period. End of story. Closed.
Okay. So, in other words, you guys were doing what you needed to do. It may have not been
Most definitely.
it. You know, wasn't the right thing, of course, because you know, of course, it wasn't the right thing. Um. Now, I'm trying to figure out as to why did you feel as if that this was your only means of supporting you and your family?
I mean, I have a record. Let's face it. All the education, experience, and whatever in the world is
Mhm.
not going to negate the fact that I have a record. Who's going to hire a freaking criminal?
Okay. Um, what type of work experience or work that you've done in the past,
I mean, I
if you
guess
don't
if you
mind?
can call it experience, I worked with my mom in her personal business for a while, and then I went on and tried to gain my degree in dental assistance, and
Mhm.
then I did a 6 month internship program, but
Right.
it obviously took me nowhere.
Mhm. Well, you know what? That's great that you have these type of experiences, and is now you said that you did work with your mother. You mentioned something about the dental assistance. Is this something that you perhaps will want to do in the future?
I mean, of course I wanted to do it. I mean, but my criminal background definitely prohibits me from working in the dental field. Nobody wants to give me a chance just because. So at the end of the day, I mean,
Right.
I don't know what to do. At the end of the day, I just felt like at that time, I don't even think it mattered. Johnny didn't like me working anyway. He liked me at home anyway, so I guess it worked out. Woo.
Hmm. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but recently there was a law that passed. Governor Nathan Deal, he signed this law. Um, he signed off on this law, and he made it to where you know um, particular people similar in your situation are able to at least fill out an application without disclosing their past criminal history. And as I said, like this, I think this bill that's being implemented now will be very useful in your situation, because when you do put on an application, all of your experience and stuff like that, those things will be highlighted versus the fact that you do have a criminal record. um, like I said, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but this will at least allow you a foot in the door.
So, well, wait a minute. So what you saying is, I can now go apply for a job,
Hmm.
and I don't have to say anything about my criminal background. So if I don't say anything about my criminal background and I fill out this application, am I just gonna get a job? Like, is it gonna be boom? You just got a job?
Well, no, no, Miss Walker,
I mean, what's gonna happen? What? I don't understand.
it doesn't work exactly quite like that. I mean, I don't want there to get any type of confusion.
I'm
It,
confused.
it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get a job just like that.
Okay.
But with this new bill, it allows you the opportunity
Okay.
to present yourself before the employer
Okay.
without them taking into account the
Okay.
fact that you have this criminal history. Because a lot of times what happens is, yeah, you put down all of your experience, all of your education and stuff like that,
Right.
and this stuff gets overlooked because as soon as they see that you have a
Criminal
criminal history,
record.
like as you stated, your application automatically gets denied.
Right.
So what this allows is to it allows for your education and your experience to be highlighted on, and then they can at least call you in, you get your foot in the door so you can present yourself. Because I find a lot of times people are very good at presenting themselves as far as their education and their experiences. So not to say that they're not going to run a background check or whatever the case may have you, but I think that as long as you can get your foot in the door and you can explain yourself, and you can highlight as well on those experiences and that work history, then it'll be very essential, and you will have better chances of getting, employment, stable employment for you and your children.
I mean, shoot, that sounds great. I mean, finally somebody can, see me for me versus see me for what I've done. You know what I'm saying? All I need, Miss Hester, is an opportunity, like, to take care of my kids and provide for my kids in a way that's legal. I mean, at the
Yes.
end of the day, it's like, it's not that I don't want to try. It's just I know that always stopped me in the past. So yes, it's discouraging. I don't have time to wait. I have immediate needs instead of my kids.
Yes, I can understand that. You trying to be the best parent that you can be and provide for your children, and I feel that there's some avenues that just haven't been made aware to you. And like I said, my job here is to try and help you and your children. I want to reunite you and your children. So
Please.
yeah, um there's something that I wanted to touch on. We touched on it a little bit. I know
Okay.
you mentioned something about your children's father, Johnny.
Mhm.
And I wanted to speak with you about, like, how is that relationship?
I mean, as far as me and Johnny, it's pretty much just about the kids, basically. Long as he, you know, does what he needs to do for the kids and do whatever, our main attention is on the kids. It's not about me and Johnny.
Okay. Okay.
He does what he needs to do as a father. That's all I can ask for. I can't take it from him.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad that he's doing his equal part and being a part of your children's lives. Now, with that being said, how is you and Johnny's relationship? How are you guys?
There isn't a relationship. Me and Johnny are done. At the end of the day, it's like when we were together,
Mhm.
I mean, we were good at times as long as I didn't make Johnny mad. Because if you made Johnny mad, boy, it's a whole nother story. But at the end of the day, I kind of understood that I was a part of the stress. So, I understood. You know what I mean? So I just dealt with it.
Okay. I want to delve a little deeper here, if you don't mind.
All right.
Um, you're saying that you understood that you were a part of the problem and that you didn't want to make him mad because you were a part of the stress.
Definitely.
Can you kind of give me a little more insight on this?
I mean, I mean, this is what our arguments was basically about. He was always yelling at me for eating way too much and not keeping the house clean. But I definitely felt like it was more than that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I felt like I was just that avenue of release of stress. So, I took it. You know what I mean? Whatever. That's fine. Okay, no, everything is not going to be neat 100% because I have other stresses too. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that was it. Great father, terrible, husband. What can you say?
Hmm. Hmm. So, has there ever been any physical abuse? Has he? It's okay. Take your time. It's all right. Here. It's all right. Take all the time you need. It's okay.
I mean, at times there were. I mean, because like I said, Johnny was a great father.
Mhm.
But at times, like when he walk in the house, if something is out of place, and it feels like to me, he just spazzes out. It's a whole nother Johnny. I don't know this Johnny,
Right. Mhm.
and I know what to do. Like,
Right. That's very understandable. It's very understandable. And any being in a relationship like that, and especially when children are involved, like, you know, it can be very stressful, and you get lost at times and you don't know what to do. But like I said, I'm here to try and help you and work through this. Um, but I do, I need to ask you this: were there ever any times where you know he was physically abusive towards your
oh
children,
no,
or?
no, 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 Miss Hester.
Mhm.
One thing Johnny did is love them kids. I can't take him away from him. As a husband, he was horrible to me.
Mhm.
But I cannot take away the fact that he's been an awesome, upstanding father in the eyesight of my children. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying?
That's good.
He's been that. He's been
Okay.
that.
Okay. And another question. Now, did they ever perhaps maybe witness the abuse that he did to you?
I mean, no, he usually does it when they're not home, like
Okay.
school, something like that. It's just he comes in the house just angry,
Mhm.
and I'm that avenue, so I took it.
Right. Now, and I can't reiterate this enough. You know, again, my job is to ensure that, you know, that I try and reunite you and your family together. I want to make sure that, you know, your family has a safe environment, especially your children have a safe environment. And that includes that you are safe as well, because, you're that caregiver for your children. So, now, did you ever perhaps maybe try and speak to someone about this abuse, or and I know you said that your children, they weren't physically abused, and they didn't witness that abuse, which is great, because I don't want to cause them any extra trauma
Right,
or
right,
pain.
right.
But have you ever, just you maybe speak to them, or allow them to speak to someone, because children have a way of knowing things that we don't even know that they know. So did you ever try and seek some help with what was going on in your home?
I mean, no. I mean, because at that time it's like it was just me against the world,
Right.
and I felt like my kids were sheltered from the abuse that Johnny was, putting on me or whatever, and putting me through. I felt like I sheltered them for that, so I felt like there was no need to
Mhm.
um, seek help. I didn't
Right.
feel like any help was needed.
Mhm.
But I can accurately tell you at this time, as far as, you know, relationship help, that's not necessary. I
Right.
don't need any relationship counseling. Me and Johnny are done.
Right. Right. And you know what? That's if that's your choice, and you decided that part of your relationship.
It's done. Huh.
Okay.
I'm through, Miss Hester. You
Okay.
can hit me a few times and I'm done,
Okay.
okay?
um, I guess my concern is although that part of you and his relationship is over, is Johnny, is he going to be a part of your children's life? Because
I'll tell you what, Miss Hester, I'm cool with Johnny being in the kids' life because at the end of the day, we are all those children know.
mhm.
And as long as Johnny is willing to get on board with the program as far as the direction in which I'm going, it may not be any me and him, but I definitely wouldn't mind, them having that interaction with their father because they love him and I know he loves them as well. As long as he
Okay.
goes with the program, I'm good.
Okay. Right. So in an effort to try and reunite you with your children, I really highly would suggest that if Johnny is going to be a part of you or of your children's lives, that he seeks some type of counseling, as well as you, and as well as the kids. So a great solution that I think would be to allow him in that process, even if you aren't going to be in a relationship, just allow him in that process, because your children, that they need to be in that safe environment, and they need to know that their mother is going to be in a safe environment too. So I feel like it would be great for you all to probably go to family counseling.
All right.
Maybe first start with, I like to try and implement that as a part of your process of your pre-release, because I want to work on finding you stable employment, and then I want to work on reuniting your family. So starting with that counseling with you, and then work, having it trickle down to, Johnny, and including the kids and stuff like that, because I feel that that would be very essential for that reunification with your family.
I mean, like I said, whatever steps, processes, or whatever hurdles I need to cross and jump just to get my kids, Miss has to sign me up, I'm down. I don't mind, taking the parenting classes at this point. I can understand
Mhm.
why, very well may need it. And at this point, with my kids being taken away, I agree. We probably do need some family counseling just to try to maybe I can perhaps one day explain to them what happened.
Mhm. Right.
I don't
Right.
know.
So, you know, that's what I feel that I'm glad that you're turning this around and you're trying to improve all of what has gone on with you. I that's really great, and I want to focus on that strength that you're acknowledging that okay, you made your mistakes, and now at this point it's about trying to correct those mistakes. So I appreciate your time, Miss Walker. What I want to focus on for our next meeting is starting to work on trying to get you some type of stable employment. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the program. It's called Workforce Now.
No, no.
Okay. I think this will be a great part of the process too, because Workforce Now they focus on job readiness.
Okay.
They can link you with different companies that are hiring and help you with your resume writing and all of those things, which I think will be useful in preparing you for that stable job that you will be able to secure.
Okay. Okay.
So I definitely want to focus on that for our next meeting.
Okay.
Again, it's been a pleasure, and if you have any questions or concerns or issues or whatever, please feel free to reach out to me, and do keep in mind that I'm going to be in contact with you next week.
Well, I mean, I just want to say, thank you for the abundance of resources. I mean, it's really helpful, especially with you telling me that, you're going to help me out finding employment. That's all I want to do is provide for my kids the best way I know how. And by gosh, do it legally, you know what I mean? So, you really helped change my attitude around today. I really felt like, at first it was just a waste of time, but it hasn't. And I see now you're just here to try to help me basically meet my goals. So, thank you so much, Miss Hester. I really appreciate your time.
Sure. All right.